How's it going? And welcome back to Chasing Victory with Ben Valiant and Jason Lee. I'm Ben Valiant and that's Jason Lee. And today we have an NFL Divisional Round preview episode. Jason, how's it going?
It's going well. We're getting down to the nitty gritty of the playoffs, Ben, and I'm not doing well right now. The refs are winning actively, and it's not okay.
It's unbelievable what the Chiefs just get to do whatever they want. But we're gonna talk about the games that are coming up. Starting with the Commanders and Lions. Jason, who's your pick?
As much as I love the Jaden Daniels team, the experience with the Washington Commanders, they've turned that ship around, and there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be a successful team for years to come. But come on, this is Detroit, one seed Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, brotherly love. Everyone's coming out. It is going to be the loudest game you'll ever see. This is going to be hard fought football for 4 quarters. I am going to take the Lions, but I will say the Commanders are going to put up a fight. Washington's going to go down, but I'm going to take the Lions by 10. I'm going to say 30-20. And I just think the Detroit offense, now that Montgomery is back, this run game is now unstoppable. And I feel like the Commanders' secondary is just weak. And you have a high-powered offense like Detroit, it should be a safe bet to take the Lions, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go opposite of you. I'm gonna take the Commanders. You talk about Jaden Daniels being a rookie, and I get all that. But he came out last week and he looked like he had been playing in the NFL for 10 plus years. He looked that good against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then you look, I get what you're saying. The defense it's not great. And but I do think they're gonna be able to get enough stops against Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions offense where they'll be able to keep Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson and Terry McLaurin. I think they'll be able to keep all these guys in the game. I think the defense just has to give the offense a chance. Because we've seen with this Commanders offense, they are able to do anything. They're able to put up a lot of points. And I think they could put up enough points to beat a Detroit Lions team that's so little banged up on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, that's not an issue anymore. This is proven that that's not an issue anymore. Like, I get they're the 1 seed. I get they still have problems on defense, but that's not the issue anymore. Like the Washington Commanders defense has been like, I wouldn't say much of a problem because they went 12-5. Like, let's be real there. But like, other than let's see, the Cardinals game, the Browns game, and the Panthers game and the Titans game, those are the only games that they won by one possession. Or no, more than one possession. Every other game they won by a touchdown or less, which scares me in the fact that you look at this, the pass rush is okay. I mean, guys like Dante Fowler, you have guys like Jonathan Allen coming back. Dan Quinn's a defensive guy. He's proved that in Dallas. He's proved that in Atlanta. He's proved that in Seattle. So, I mean, the secondary is a problem. Like, don't get me wrong, Marshawn Lattimore is fine. Marshawn Lattimore was a great move at the trade deadline, but Marshawn Lattimore is going to be on St. Brown. So now, who's really guarding Jamison Williams? Who's really guarding a guy like Tim Patrick that has emerged for the Detroit Lions? Who's guarding Jahmyr Gibbs on RPO routes? Like, what does the Commanders secondary have that could stop the Detroit Lions offense? Because if you lock up one, there's so many other pieces that have contributed to this team that the Detroit Lions and Ben Johnson can make any sort of magic work, and it'll lead to a touchdown. So, like, the Commanders secondary would have to play like lights out, and they've rarely done that this year.
They've rarely done that this year. But you talk about Ben Johnson and you talk about Aaron Glenn. These guys were each on about 5+ different interviews last weekend. They've pretty much got one foot out the door at this point. And I get it's a business, and I get that's the contemporary protocol. That's what teams do. That's how when the most of the recruiting gets done for head coaches. But it shows these guys like, I'm not gonna be here next year. It's not that they don't care about this game because they both came back trying to finish the job last year. But you're not gonna get as intense of coaching from them. You're not gonna get their best. Like they're not as locked in on your team anymore. They're kind of looking around. They're looking at their options, surveying, seeing what they're gonna do this offseason.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's back that horse up right here. Um, so you say that they have one foot out the door already. They're playing the Washington Commanders they are 7.5 point favorites at home in the NFC Divisional Round with almost a clear path to the NFC Championship game, and they have one foot out the door?
It's not necessarily one foot out the door. It's just they see what's in front of them, so they're not as worried about this game. They're not worried about they're not so worried about the result of this game because they know they're going to get a job this offseason. They know they're both going to become head coaches. So they might not be they're not going to care as much.
Wow.
Well,
Bold statement. They're not going to care as much.
listen. If you know you're gonna go somewhere else, are you gonna care? If you know you're in your last days with a certain team, do you care so much?
Yes, I care 1,000%. If I'm Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn, I'm getting head coach money next season. That is a lot more than coordinator money. Some head coaches make millions. This is insane. Like, why would I take my foot off the gas pedal in spite of, like, yes, I'm going to win this game.
They already know they're gonna get that money. They already
So
know it.
what? They want to solidify it. Like, why take your foot
Once
off
they're
the
to
gas?
solidify, they've both gone on like plenty of interviews this past week.
So
They both
what?
know.
Those teams that interview Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are watching Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn for the rest of the season that Detroit stays alive. They're going to watch their play style. They're going to watch what plays they run because that's going to be their head coach next year. That is going to be either
You said it. Their head coach their head coach next year. Their head coach.
Yes, that's going to be their head coach. And what
Head
happens
coach.
if
They're going to be head coaches. There's nothing to solidify at this point. It's a done deal.
okay, it's a done deal. But what happens if Ben Johnson hypothetically calls the worst offense? Let's say they beat the Commanders. Let's go to the NFC Championship game. Let's say they call the worst potential offensive playbook. It gets shut down on every single play. Is any coach that has Ben Johnson on their tape on their board are they going to be like, oh, you know what, you can still come along even though you've coached the worst game possible?
Yes.
No, they want them to.
Yes.
Why?
These guys are getting head coaching jobs next year. That's a done deal. It doesn't matter what they do these last
Why
couple
take
weeks.
your foot off the gas when it matters most? You want to leave your biggest impact on the city of Detroit right now. That's what you want to do. Before you depart, you want to make sure you get them a ring or damn near close to a ring.
You are going to get them close to a ring. Well, you did it last year by going to the NFC Championship.
Okay. Wow, you're really at all these comebacks here for this one. Like, why? It makes no sense. Like, why stop? Like you make it sound like, oh,
it's not that they're
next year. See ya. Like,
it's not that they're gonna stop trying. It's the fact that like it's just human nature. Like they're not gonna care as much when they know they're not gonna be there next year. They're building something different. They're gonna be somewhere else. They're not gonna care about what the Detroit Lions are doing next year because they're gonna be at the helm of another NFL team and trying to bring that team to a Super Bowl.
yeah, I get you, but like, why you make it sound like you're like this is already like a done deal. Like no matter what, like this, you make it sound like the season can stop right now. And like Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, all right, here's your head coaching job. Here's your coach keys.
Because
Goodbye.
they are going to get head coaching jobs no matter what.
Like if I'm any of these teams that have went out and interviewed these guys,
they probably already have offers.
They do. They have plenty of offers. They've done plenty of interviews with multiple teams. But like, if I'm one of these teams that are interested in Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn, I'm watching them for the rest of the season. I want to know what they're like in clutch time because this isn't week. There's a difference between coaching a game in week 4 and coaching a game in the NFC Championship game. There has to be.
You already saw what they did in the clutch in the NFC Championship game last year. They crumbled.
Exactly.
They're still going to get head coaching jobs though. And I'm saying this year in the clutch, why wouldn't a similar thing happen?
I mean, there's no question it could happen, but like I feel like this is like for if I'm Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn, I know what the future holds. I know that like if I'm one of the best coordinators in the league, I know what the future holds. I know I'm getting head coach money. But like having said that, I want to leave a lasting impression like at the end. Like I don't want to be like, all right, we got out in the divisional round or we got out in the NFC championship game. See ya. I'm gonna take my money and leave. Like I want to make sure like everyone like there's this offense, this defense is great for years to come without me, and
Why
that's
do you
what I
want them
want.
to be great? That's the team you're going to be going up against next year. If they go jump ship to an NFL team that's in the NFC, they're going to be playing each other next year. So why would you want that offense to be good when it's going up against your team?
This is the team you this is the offense essentially you built. You know their strengths, you know their weaknesses.
So what? You still don't want them to be good.
Well, in that sense, yes, because you want your team to win. But they both know wherever they go, it's a learning year. This is not, you know what, we're gonna turn the entire ship a 360-degree angle. We're gonna go all the way back to superstardom, and we're gonna go to the playoffs. No, they know wherever they go, it's a learning year. They're not making the playoffs wherever they go. In their first year, no way. No.
Yeah, I guess.
Chicago, the Jets, the Saints, no,
The
no.
Jet Chicago could. If
Chicago was supposed to this year.
Yeah, and their head coach sucked. But if you get a good head coach, like a Ben Johnson supposed to be, like an Aaron Glenn supposed to be, then you could go to the playoffs. There's a case you could make for Chicago to go to the playoffs next year.
What? Like coaching aside, it was supposed to happen this year. Like the
The
offense was
coach
supposed to
sucked.
click.
There was so much discourse on the offense. There was so much change on the offense. New head coach was the offensive coordinator, but you have to have an interim offensive coordinator. Caleb Williams rookie year. You're never the playoff aspirations in the rookie year never make sense. That's just not gonna happen. There's so much other stuff that went wrong with the Chicago Bears. And I know some rookies do make the playoffs. You look at Michael Penix Jr. or no, you look at Jaden Daniels rather. Michael Penix Jr. Almost went to the playoffs.
Almost.
You look at Bo Nix. There are guys that are rookies in the playoffs, but everything went right for their franchise. They have good head coaches. They have good supporting casts, and everything clicked into place this year. That wasn't going to happen for the Bears. Matt Eberflus was never the guy, so that's
No,
why it didn't happen.
no, he wasn't the guy. You're right. But like I feel like it's gonna take time. Where it like is if the Chicago's the favorite or if the Jets are the favorite. I feel like it's going to take time
The
with.
Jets for sure. I think Chicago's the only team that you could really make a case for.
So you think if Ben Johnson or England is the head coach of the Chicago Bears, playoffs? There you go.
I'm not saying it's a
Right.
guarantee, but I'm saying that there's definitely a chance they could.
Yeah, but what's the problem was with the Chicago Bears offense is you gave the quarterback weapons. You gave the quarterback weapons, but you didn't give him an O-line. Is that to say that you are going to draft an O-line next year to make sure the offense is fine, to make sure the defense is fine? Is that like, because I
Yeah,
feel like there's
you
a
have
lot
to.
more that goes into it than just here's Ben Johnson. We're going to MacGyver up a playoff run. Like, there's a lot more that goes into it, but like, I feel like they're going to make sure that like they leave a big stamp of approval on the city of Detroit before they leave, and that starts and ends with a potential Super Bowl ring.
I don't think that's I just don't think that's the case. I think there's so much there's like I'm not saying that they're 1 foot out the door. I'm just saying that it's just like they're not gonna be going as hard. And the other thing I said about this game, like they're playing with house money right now. They're playing where there's no repercussions if they lose this game. If they win, it's great. We're going to the NFC Championship in Jaden Daniels' rookie year. But for the Lions, it's like, oh well, we were in the NFC Championship last year. We should have gotten better this year. We should have improved our roster more. Because at the end of the day, they didn't make that big of roster moves,
The
did they?
Darius Smith is their only big move. That was
Yeah,
it.
so they're what so like the Lion fan is going to be like, well, our front office did nothing this year. We were in the NFC Championship last year. We added Zadarius Smith. But the Commanders fan, we're going to the NFC Championship in Jaden Daniels' rookie year. We have nothing to lose right now. The Lions have expectations. The Commanders don't.
So you're saying that because of the fact that they have house money, we're a just happy to be here team. That is their advantage in this game.
It's certainly an advantage, yeah. They're gonna play free. They're gonna play carefree.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, like the Commanders are definitely going to put up a fight in this game. There's no way they
Yeah,
are
they're gonna
coming in
put up
to
a
get
fight,
destroyed.
and they're gonna play.
They're going to play hard for 1,000%, but I just think the
Yeah,
truth of
yeah.
the
That's playing carefree and playing hard. That's two completely different things. It's
I
not.
feel like in a perfect world, right now the Lions defense can stop the Commanders offense, but the Commanders defense cannot stop the Lions offense. I
Um,
just don't see it. The secondary is concerns me. Like I feel like these little close games that shouldn't really be close because it's like you're granted your offense comes in and saves the day, but like your defense should not be putting you in that situation. Like at the end of the day, this is the playoffs. This is the divisional round. Like now this is, like here we are, we're still here. Let's we have a chance if we can make it happen. Like
there is like some of that like voodoo magic with the Commanders where you saw in the regular season where the both games they played against the Cowboys, it was like they had in the first one, I know they lost, but they had the ridiculous the what was it? It was a crazy touchdown to tie it, and then the kicker missed a field goal. And then in the last game, they had like a crazy touchdown pass at the end also. That was a big yardage play. So there is some of that like magic. They had the Hail Mary against the Bears. They beat the Giants while the Giants they beat the Giants only kicking field goals. I don't know how much of a flex it is to beat the Giants, but there is some of that like dark magic where the Commanders do find ways to win.
there is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like they're a great team. Like when it comes to the Magic department, they've surely shocked the world in many games with the ways they've won. But I just feel like the defense to me is just a big question mark this year. Like, I mean, like look at like really like you took like 3 or 4 members from the Dallas Cowboys defense last year. You took Dan Quinn, and you know what? We're gonna turn the ship around. But I feel like even with like their leader Bobby Wagner, who's been excellent for the Commanders this year, he's a little banged up. I feel like him against the run is going to be a little bit of an issue, especially with
Everybody is banged up at this point in the year. You can look at any person on any roster on any team that's still playing, and everybody has some sort of injury. Nobody is playing at full health right now.
that might be true, but like I'm talking about like right now, like no, like when I'm saying banged up, I mean like he's injured right now. He's coming into the game with an ankle injury. He's gonna play the game out, but I feel like that's gonna weigh him down a little bit, especially with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery both playing. This is the first time in a long time that Sonic and Knuckles are in the backfield,
It's not
and
that. It wasn't that long of a time. It was probably like 4 or 5 weeks.
that's pretty much that's a long time
It's a month.
for. It's a month of the dynamic duo in the run game not playing football together, and now
All
they're
right.
back together.
So let me say this then. Are they gonna need a game to get back into shape? Are they gonna need
No,
a game to for that duo to be cooking on all cylinders again?
no, Jahmyr Gibbs is taking the role of running back one, and David Montgomery has slid in as your power back. Like he can slide back into the lineup as your number 2, as your power back. They're both going to get in the end zone tonight, guaranteed, because the Washington run defense is not that good. I'm sorry, it isn't. Like we're looking at I'm case in point. All these games are close. Like every single one of these games has at least one rushing touchdown in it. It's a safe bet that each one of these running backs is going to get in the end zone, and Jared Goff is going to have at least 2 other touchdowns to receivers. Like this is the problem. The Commanders' defense has not played at the level of their offense, and especially now, like regardless of if it's the we're happy to be here team, This is the NFL playoffs, and your offense has to play at the exact same skill level as your defense. And right now, the Commanders do not look that way.
I don't think they have to play at the exact same level, but they definitely do have to be comparable. I'll give you that aspect. But I do think the Commanders defense can do it. They're not gonna be great. They're not gonna be outstanding, but they're gonna keep their offense in the game and they're gonna give Jaden Daniels a chance to win it in the fourth quarter. All right, let's get to the next matchup. Let's get to some of these Sunday games because these Sunday games are gonna be awesome. I think both of them are gonna be incredible. Eagles and Rams first. I'm gonna take. I know it's a lot of chalk here, but I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm gonna take their side. I mean, Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna get back a little bit healthier this week. He's not gonna have to play as safe as we saw him do last week. And I think the Eagles are just gonna be able to keep doing what they're supposed to do because they are supposed to be winning this game.
When this game came out in the schedule of the divisional round, I thought about it. I went back and forth, and then I made up my mind right away. There is no doubt in my mind. I am going with the LA Rams to win this game. 1,000%. This team was not even supposed to win against Minnesota. This team weeks 1 through 5 looked horrible. And then they turned this ship around.
And you know what? And you know why they turned it around? It was they got healthy. That's the
exactly. Now they're all here. Now they're ready to go. Everyone said when the playoffs started, there's one team that you did not want to face in the playoffs, home or on the road. This is the one team you do not want to face anywhere, anytime. Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams offense is dynamic. This team is good on all sides of the ball. Even the defense, this defense had 8 sacks. You know how hard that is in an NFL game? 8 sacks with a young defense. I thought this defense was going to be mediocre at best, especially without Aaron Donald at the helm. This team was going to be a learning year. But guys like Jared Verse, guys like Kobe Turner, guys like even veterans like Ahkello Witherspoon are stepping up to the plate in clutch time situations and are playing lights out on defense. And especially the dynamic duo, Cooper Kupp can still ball. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how long his beard is and how old that makes him look. Cooper Kupp can still ball out. Puka Nacua is elite. Matthew Stafford, despite being almost 40 years old, he has a ring. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he has consistently proven year after year, time and time again, he is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. The run game is a little shaky. Kyren Williams has had great moments. Kyren Williams has had some okay moments. But I feel like this Rams offense is strong enough to get behind the Eagles defense. Because I will say this, even though the Eagles played great, they found a way to get past the Packers. They hit their stride when it mattered most. But throughout some of these drives that, the Packers couldn't capitalize on, the Eagles defense was a little sloppy at the beginning of the game. The Eagles defense has been sloppy in the beginning part of the game. And that's a problem considering the LA Rams are one of those teams that are explosive right out of the gate, and they start off with points on the board. Don't get me wrong. The youngest defense in the NFL is the best defense in the NFL. Yes, it is. I am not denying that. But I just think the experience will pay off, and I feel like the Rams offense will carry their way to a victory.
Yeah, you look at last week's Eagles game where the defense was flat out terrific for the Eagles. The defense was so good. They almost completely limited Jordan Love in that Packers offense. The offense was a little lackluster, but as Jalen Hurts starts to get healthier, as his concussion starts to go away, as he starts to get back to 100%, as we get further here in the playoffs, this Eagle offense that was so good this year, that was arguably the best part of their team, the running attack for the Eagles was so good with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. And also their run defense with Jalen Carter and them boys up front, it was terrific as well. And then don't forget in that secondary, I know you mentioned Kyren Williams had some trouble. They got Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean back there. Just saying, those are two of the better secondary pieces in the league, and they're both young guys. So I think the Eagles are better pretty much all around. I will say that the Rams turnaround has been a lot of fun to watch, but their season's gonna end here.
I feel like there's a lot to be said about this, Ramsey. We're going to look back Sunday Night Football week, whatever this is. The Rams are 5-6. They were 5-5. They lost 5-6 to the Eagles, 37-20. This is the game that Saquon Barkley had 255 yards. He went off. He went crazy. He had 300 total yards for the game. Like this is, I feel like they learned because this team, this Eagles offense was a lot better than this is the Eagles offense that needs to show up. That's the point right here. This is the Eagles offense that played the Rams like 7 weeks ago. This is the Eagles offense that needs to show up. Their offense, it was a little slow out of the gate, if you ask me. It was a little slow. After that opening drive touchdown, it was a little slow from that moment. You look at it, it was 10-0 after the first quarter. There was your opening drive touchdown. But after that, the touchdown does not come at all. There is no. There's the touchdown in the fourth quarter, but that's it. There's one other touchdown that happened. What happened for 2.5 quarters? I will never know. But like that like was Jalen Hurts not like having a Jalen Hurts game, or was like the Packers defense, which is a defense that is not really talked about that much, locked them up for a few drives, and that really can't happen, especially with the way the Rams defense has come to play. If they get another game where they get 5+ sacks, Philadelphia is in trouble. I'm telling you that right now. If the Rams defense plays the same way they played against Minnesota, or even the last few weeks, Jalen Hurts is gonna be running all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think it's like realistic that the Rams do get that have that same week where they have a million sacks and they're always pressuring the quarterback, just because the Eagles offensive line is the best in football. They have the best offensive line in the National Football League. That's a fact. And that's not going to stop here. They're going to block for Saquon Barkley. They're going to block for Jalen Hurts. They're going to give Jalen Hurts the time in the pocket to get the ball out to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I don't care how much he's reading on the sidelines. The Eagles will be fine. I had to sneak that in there. The Eagles will be fine, and the Eagles will advance to the NFC Championship, and it will be a heavyweight fight between the Commanders and the Eagles.
Wow. And honestly, you know, I don't hate that matchup, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, everybody wants.
As two NFC East fans here, it would be fun, but it would also.
It would be nice. It would be nice, and we all know who we would pick on that show. But I feel like, you know, the Rams defense to me is really an X factor. Don't get me wrong. The both defenses are going to be an X factor in this game. The Eagles defense is going to have a tough time if you had a tough time against the Packers defense for a little bit. The Rams offense is a lot better than the Packers offense, if you ask me. I would take that Rams offense in a heartbeat. If you had Puka Nacua get open on routes, even Cooper Kupp, even guys like Tyler Higbee or Kyler Williams, if you let these guys get open, and Matthew Stafford, because he's not a running quarterback. He's not Jalen Hurts. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not even a Josh Allen. He does not run the ball. No. If you let Matthew Stafford sling the rock, that's a problem. If you let him do that, there's going to be points on the board. And Jalen Hurts is still not 100%. I don't think he's going to be 100% for the rest of the postseason. But if that's the case, the Rams are putting stuff on the board. I would not want to be Jalen Hurts playing down. If Jalen Hurts is playing down for the majority of this game, I don't think eventually the luck is going to burn out. And I just don't think the Eagles can win in that scenario, which I think will happen if the Rams push the pedal to the metal, keep pressuring Jalen Hurts. You want him scrambling all over the place, trying to throw questionable footballs on third down, second down that are going to be locked up, because you locked up Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I think you lock up A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Considering A.J. Brown hasn't had really a strong game in a little bit, it's usually Devontae Smith and it's usually Saquon Barkley for the Eagles offense. I feel like cohesively, everyone needs to come together for the Eagles offense, and that includes A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I do think they have to have like a big game. Everybody has to be interconnected. But if the Eagles rush defense and their pass rush can get home and they could get at Matthew Stafford, and they could make him scramble a little bit. Like you said, he can't move. He has no mobility whatsoever with his legs. I think it's gonna be a long night for the Rams. They have a center that starts on their offense. They have a center that's a rookie on their offensive line. Their center's a rookie. So if they could get home, I think it could be a long night for both Kyren Williams and Matt Stafford, which would make it a long night for the entire Ram offense.
Okay. I mean, I feel like the defenses are going to ball out this game more than the offenses.
Yeah, I think this will be a
I feel like this
defensive
is going to be a
battle.
little bit of a low scoring game, no matter what
Yeah,
happens.
my prediction is 17-14. Yeah, Eagles win.
Whoa, not that low. Oh, wow, that'd be boring.
No,
17-14, that'd be boring. Ugh.
it's gonna be.
I would say like more like a 23-20. Like,
Okay, so you have a touchdown.
yeah, like get some more touchdowns on the board. Nobody wants to see a field goal battle in the divisional round. Come on.
What What that'd be 4 touchdowns and one field goal.
Two touchdowns each and a field goal on the other side. Like, that'd be a little boring. I want some highlight plays in there.
You could have a highlight play. You could have a Dallas Goedert touchdown. Even without one of the touchdowns could be a Dallas Goedert highlight again.
It could be angry runs.
Yeah. But let's get to a game that I do think is going to be an incredibly high-scoring battle. The Ravens and the Bills. I think this is going to be an offensive shootout. And you know what? I'm going to take Josh Allen and the Bills.
Wow. All right, no reason yet, or are we just gonna get?
I was gonna let you go first, but I guess I'll give.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, this matchup is a pivotal matchup in the NFL right now because we all know what could happen again. The matchup of the century could happen again for a fifth time. But it's not going to happen. We're going to get the rematch from last year. The Baltimore Ravens were the better team in week 5 and are the better team right now. Lamar Jackson is your MVP, ladies and gentlemen. I will hold that 1,000%. Most people will agree with me, according to all those betting sportsbook team odds. Most people will agree with me that Lamar Jackson will repeat here. But it's not really about him. And a big X factor in the first time they met was Derrick Henry. And the Bills' rush defense is okay. Like, I don't think really you stopping Javonte Williams in the Broncos running game is not really a flex. That's not really like, oh, you stopped Javonte Williams. Good for you. Good for you. I mean, like, what else do you want? But I feel like the Ravens defense has surprised me a lot more than the offense. Like, don't get me wrong, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, the dynamic duo was lived up to the hype and then some. But I feel like the Ravens defense, guys like Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, even a veteran like Kyle Van Noy has stepped it up tremendously on the defensive line. Even old man Kyle Van Noy can get it done in this day and age with young edge rushers. He can blow past box shit with the rest of them. But I feel like the run game is lethal enough. It was lethal enough last year to get to the AFC Championship game, and it's lethal enough this year, especially with Derrick Henry. This team was J.K. Dobbins and Lamar Jackson. Now it's Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and even though Derrick Henry has had some iffy years at the back end of his career with the Titans, rejuvenated career here with the Baltimore Ravens. He's getting at least 100-something yards a game, at least a touchdown. He's having a career year in Baltimore, and I feel like just, John Harbaugh and the coaching staff are what happened?
Missed extra point. Second one of the game for the Texans.
So they scored?
Yeah, it's 13-12 right now.
Who scored the touchdown?
I don't know. It was a Russian touchdown. This has been a long night for the Texans kicker. Wow.
Oh, there's your point right there. But I feel like, you want to talk about kickers. I'm glad you brought that up.
I would love to bring that up.
One of, if not the greatest clutch time kickers ever.
He's washed this year, though.
Is he washed? Yes. Has he had a bad year? But when it matters, when it comes down to business, he is invincible. I
Wait, what?
cannot say the same about Tyler Bass. Tyler Bass, you look up Tyler Bass clutch time kicks. The first thing that will come up, ladies and gentlemen, is the wide right kick against Kansas City. And that was pretty short. If you ask me, that was a pretty short kick. I'm not an NFL kicker, but you got to make those kicks, especially you're at home. It's quiet. It's not like there's Chiefs fans screaming in the background. You were at home. It's quiet. So I feel like you cannot let – I feel like the kickers are going to be a little immobilized here, though. I will say you cannot let the Buffalo Bills defense cannot let Justin Tucker out in a game-clinching scenario, and the Bills the Ravens defense, which I think can stop the Bills offense enough to prevent a Tyler Bass potential field goal game time.
All right. This is funny. Funny you bring this up. I have in my notes, Bills win 38-35, right? That's my score prediction. The next line down, Tyler Bass rights his wrong with a game-winning field goal.
He's not. Like, is he gonna kick field goals? Yes, he is gonna kick field goals. But like I just feel like the Bills offense it cannot be, settle for 3 points. You settle for 3 points, to me, that is not, if you want to win this game, that is not going to work out against Kansas City. No way. If you settle for 3 points, you're done. You start settling.
No, I'm saying a game-winning field goal. It's 35-35 in the last couple seconds. You're going to go for it instead of kicking a field goal?
No, in that situation, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. That's what a game-winning field goal would be.
Okay, but I feel like the Ravens defense is good. I feel like the Ravens defense has outperformed Buffalo's defense this year by far.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Yeah. I would say so. But the thing I'm going to bring up is that last time these two teams played, the Ravens had Zay Flowers. The Ravens had their top receiver. I don't think the Bills had Amari Cooper yet, did they? No, they didn't. So, you take away the best receiver from the Ravens. You add the Bills' best receiver, right?
The Bills' best receiver. Where was the Bills' best receiver in a 31-7 blowout of Denver? Where was he? Where was he on the one reception, 8 yards? That's the Bills' best receiver, ladies and gentlemen. Zay Flowers on a bum ankle had more yards than Amari Cooper on a healthy ankle in the playoffs.
They didn't need him last week. And now they're going to unleash him. Now they're going to show his full potential. It's going to be that Josh Allen against the Niners. It's going to be the Josh Allen against the Lions. Incorporating Amari Cooper. Incorporating everybody. Getting James Cook going. And you know what else? The Ravens aren't going to be able to move the ball through the air. You said it in the last episode we had. You said the Ravens need to throw the ball more. They are going to have to beat this Bills team, because the Bills are just going to be able to load up the box, sit on Lamar Jackson runs, sit on Derrick Henry runs, sit on Ravens screens. That's going to be their whole game plan. The Ravens have no passing attack without Zay Flowers. Roquan Smith is not going to be able to get it done.
You don't think when these two met back in week 4, you don't think these two you don't think the Bills' game plan was to stop the run in ball?
But they also had to respect the pass at that point. Now,
respect the pass. You want to talk about Zay Flowers? The last time, what the hell was that? Sirens going off back here. But anyway, Zay Flowers, the last time they met, 1 reception, 10 yards. Really? He's the prop? Oh, he's the difference maker against the Buffalo Bills.
Because they had to put more attention on him.
Okay, they put more attention on him, but they didn't put more attention on guys like Isaiah Likely, guys like Rashad Bateman, guys like Justice Hill. Sure, did Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry cook on the run game? Absolutely, they cooked on the run game. But here's the thing. The pass game was fine. It was good enough because every time, the Ravens ran 2 times in a row, they got 3 yards on one play, they threw it, and they got a first down, and they repeated the cycle over and over again. It was run, pass, and that's what killed the Bills week 4. It's gonna kill.
And it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work this week.
Why is it not gonna work now?
Because they don't have the receiver they had. They don't have the guy that the Bills are gonna have to put the attention on. Isaiah Likely hasn't been as good since. I don't know. He hasn't been as good as he was playing at that point. I get Mark Andrews has stepped up a little bit, and I get he's playing a little bit better. And I get they have Rashad Bateman. But the Bills have guys to match the receiving court. The Bills have a surplus. Well, not a surplus, but the Bills are going to be able to handle the Ravens passing attack with ease. It's going to be about loading up the box, making sure those front seven are ready, rushing extra guys, disguising your blitzes, and that's how it's going to work. That's how the Bills are going to get home and hit Lamar Jackson in the backfield and get tackles for loss on Derrick Henry. That's how it's going to happen.
No, it's not. It's gonna be the same show again. Like sure, Amari Cooper's here, but like you don't think they're ready for that? You don't think Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton are gonna be all over Amari Cooper? Really? You can go the same. Zay Flowers plays or not, it's the same scenario. You're gonna put Rasul Douglas is gonna be all over Zay Flowers. Okay, Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton are gonna be all over Amari Cooper. There you go. That cancels out. Now we're in the same boat. Where guys like on the Bills, Khalil Shakir, Matt Collins, or guys like Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Justice Hill, Rashad Bateman have to step up. It's the same scenario. And I feel like if Lamar Jackson opens up the pass game, which I think he can do,
That's like not going to happen though.
I think
These guys, that's not how they're going to game plan. That's not how Harbaugh is going to coach to win this game. He's going to coach for the rushing attack to win this game.
And it works. It is not that rushing attack has never been immobilized once. Even when they lose, that rushing attack has never been immobilized once.
I think it's going to be immobilized this week.
It's unstoppable. It's the tush push practically. It's unstoppable.
It's not the tush push. The tush push is way more unstoppable than that. But the thing with the Ravens is they're pretty one-dimensional. They don't really have a passing attack. I get you're in love with these guys. Isaiah Likely, Justice Hill, Mark Andrews. You said them about 5 times each. You're in love with them. They're not that good. The Bills are easily going to have an answer for these guys.
No.
Yes, they are.
Why? Why did this defense not have an answer the first time?
Because they learned they're a better.
They learned. Oh, they learned.
No. You look at the breakdown of the Bills' schedule. That was their worst stretch of the year. They lost back-to-back games at that point. They lost to the Texans, and then they lost to the Ravens on back-to-back weeks. And then after that, they won a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game winning streak.
They only beat the Jets by 3. This is the
They beat the Chiefs by 11. They beat the Chiefs by 11. They beat the Niners by 25.
As they should. They're supposed to beat the Chiefs in the regular season.
The Chiefs are still a good team. It's not like the Chiefs just suck in the regular season.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, the Bills, to me, to win this game is to stop the run. And, like, I feel like they have trouble with that already. Like, and that's not even just the Ravens. It's not even just the Ravens. We're going to blow past the Broncos game because that's not really a concern here. But, like, when it really matters, when you look at clutch running backs, like, let's look at the Detroit game. Let's look at the Detroit Lions game. You have, okay, they stopped. All right, Jahmyr Gibbs was immobile. Oh, no, yeah, because they stopped the pass game. Detroit used the pass game to their advantage. That is their advantage.
Yeah, the Ravens don't have a pass game like the Lions do.
They have a run game, and it's unstoppable.
Yeah, but the Lions have the pass game and the run game that's top of the league.
Okay, fine.
You know what? That's just not a good example.
Okay, they're still allowing rushing touchdowns. Like, this cannot, like, if you want to, like, stack everybody in the box and make sure Derrick Henry doesn't get free for a first down or Lamar Jackson doesn't fake you out on a 3rd and short, like, this has to be the best Bills defense I've seen all season. And, like, despite from a few games, there's some games where the defense has been highly questionable. And I feel like that's going to be a problem on Sunday.
And I think another key is you can't let it get to 3rd and short. You have to take advantage early in the series where you have to, like, keep them in 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. That's where it's got to be. You can't let them get to 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, because then, yeah, if you're getting there every time, it's going to be a lot of first downs on rushing plays.
It will be, easily. But I feel like as long as the Ravens get it to that point, you can milk a lot of clock on drives, and like you can put this game out of reach really early, and I feel like that's what can happen if everything comes together for the Ravens.
And the other aspect is I think Roger Goodell wants the Bills to win this football game. I think if you're Roger Goodell, right? Would you rather have a Ravens Chiefs rematch in the AFC Championship, or would you rather have a pretty much storied rivalry at this point with the Bills and Chiefs in the AFC Championship yet again? Which would you rather have?
Is it the same outcome?
What do you mean? Is it the same? Are the Chiefs going
The
to win?
same outcome with the storied rivalry? Is it the
It
same
might
outcome
be. It might be. It might
in a
not
row?
be. We don't know yet. That's why
Might
you play the
be, it might
game.
not be. Okay. All right. From a viewership standpoint, yes.
You want the
Yeah.
Bills, right?
I want the Bills. But
From
this
a
show
rating
is not about
standpoint, Roger
viewership.
gets.
It's not I do not choose games on what game is gonna have the most views.
That's what Roger Goodell wants because that's how the
Roger
NFL
Goodell
makes
does
the
not
most money.
control. Roger Goodell does not control the game. Roger Goodell is not Lamar
Roger
Jackson here.
Goodell,
It's this game. What is Derrick Henry?
Roger Goodell controls the refs.
No, he does
And
not.
who does?
The refs control the refs. They choose to put
Okay.
laundry on the field. They choose to put laundry on
No,
the field, and that is a shame.
that's not true. The refs are there. There's motivation there. There's somebody telling them what to do. There's somebody else that's not. They're not doing that themselves. There's got to be something. There's got to be some way that the Chiefs just get away with it. And it's not black magic. It's the refs. They're just not choosing it because somebody's telling them not to, and that person's Roger Goodell. They see that Patrick Mahomes is a global icon. They see that Travis Kelce is famous for dating Taylor Swift, so they're going to choose to favor the Chiefs.
Okay, so in that case, then they're going to favor the Bills this game?
Yes, because they want the Bills-Chiefs rivalry yet again.
Why? Like,
Because
right now, what's going to happen in the fourth quarter right now in the Chiefs game? What's going to happen?
there's going to be some play that the Chiefs are going to get lucky on. I already know what's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I'm telling you, people want Lions Rams over Lions
There's
Eagles.
no
Let me tell you that.
no. If the refs weren't involved in this game, the Chiefs would be winning by about 25 points. Well, no, that's actually a bad example. No, there was a couple plays the Chiefs.
Even that roughing the passer at the beginning of the game only led to a field goal. So I don't know. The Chiefs are looking weak right now. Maybe they'll bounce back. They're probably going to. But I don't know. If I'm a viewer,
I want
Buffalo, Kansas City, but I'm not a viewer. I'm for this show. No, I'm not. I'm an analyst on this show, and I'm going to tell you why the Ravens are the better team, and I just did. Enough said.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but like at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to a field goal. It's gonna come down to a final drive in the fourth quarter, and it's gonna be a toss up. That's how any of these games are gonna be, whatever the outcome is. For the last two games we just talked about, they're both going down deep into the fourth quarter, and I think both conference championships will be the same way. All right, that's gonna do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please consider liking, following, commenting, subscribing, even. And we'll talk to you Wednesday, recapping everything that goes down on NFL Divisional Weekend. We'll talk to you soon.